Her Royal Highness Nana Damaki Lumu I, known in her private life as Dr. Pamela Fumin. Now, her new name is Noya Manye of Lomobiawe in the Adan State in Ghana. And she's also the founder of the African Brain Bank in Houston, Texas. Our adorable guest speaker, Honorable Francis Opaitete, he introduced himself earlier on, and most of us have worked with him. He's a very, hardworking, dynamic, wonderful man to be trusted and work with. On behalf of the National Ghana Parade Council, based in New York City, I once again thank you, Mr. Kofi Flair. And we also have another poet in our midst, Mr. Kwejo, and our value audience across the globe watching us currently. We are streaming live on YouTube on the Key Mama Show. I once again warmly welcome you to this maiden edition of Discover Ghana Business and Investment Seminar, a fraternal collaboration between the Ghana Investment Promotion, GIPC, and the National Ghana Parade Council, once again located in the US, to unveil the numerous rewarding investment opportunities in Ghana, foreign investors especially, over 3 million Africans in the diaspora. The main aim of this seminar is to create the platform for Ghana Investment Promotion Center and our value seminar facilitators to point to the sectors of the Ghanaian economy with rewarding investment opportunities that we have in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana is not just a gateway to Africa. Ghana had so many opportunities that we can learn from by the time we live here. And some of you will be very marveled. Ghana is situated. I'm gonna try to log people in, and at the same time, I'm being multitasked. Sorry that I didn't get a secretary to also help us. So our facilitators will benefit. Ghanaian economists is rewarding to many, and we are trying to tap in for those who are hearing the name for the first time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, as you already know, Ghana is situated in the intersection between the equator and the prime meridian. This geographical location makes Ghana a dwelling place, hence a unique, that is, please mute yourself. Mute yourself, please. I don't know whether you're getting some jollof rice. It's really helping. Undeniable, Ghana is a beacon of hope and a shining example of political stability and participatory democracy in the volatile West Africa sub-region. Since 1992 till date, political power has changed hands between two political parties. Power go, power, but you can hear no grudges, no fights. They share opposing ideologies, idea, principle, and practice with very little or no issue. There's also peaceful coexistence between various tribes and ethnic groups, and even our neighboring countries, including Togo, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast. For the National Chief Imam in Ghana to celebrate his 100 years birthday in the Holy Spirit Cathedral of the Roman Catholic Church tells volumes about religious open-minded that we have in Ghana. Furthermore, due to the free, compulsory, universal, basic education, almost every Ghanaian you meet on the street hold at least a basic educational certificate. The BEC qualification, acceptable working knowledge of the English language. This makes it very easy to train Ghanaians for any job at all. Ghana is making a tremendous progress in modern transportation, communication, human capital development, and upholding human rights and security. There are important springboards for attracting investment to Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need to have this kind of conversation very frequently, because relationship between the government of Ghana and African in the diaspora is not effectively consolidated. The government of Ghana has established Energy Commission, Mineral Commission, Constitutional Review Commission, and Gaming Commission. But there is no Migration Commission to implement the brilliant national migration policy up to date. We are pleading. The financial remittances from Ghanaians living abroad, according to, one second. Sorry, the weather here drying our throats very fast. The remittance that comes from Ghanaians living abroad supporting the economy, it's very huge. So diaspora office is really, migration office is really needed. And we are asking the government to consider as such. In 2019, amounted to almost $5 million that remittances that get home. This contribution was far than what was realized from the overhyped cocoa sector in the whole country. Also, Ghanaians living in the abroad, we're also pushing for us to be able to vote, that any election, our votes will count. And we are demanding the government, the EC, to facilitate that for Ghanaians living abroad to vote this year. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a recent video making rounds about a young Ghanaian migrant who has returned to invest animal husbandry. There is a, oh, thank you, people joining. Thank you for your patience. To do the goat keeping, after years of investment, the traditional authority just got up one day and asked them or him to move his animal from that community. This is the reason why this seminar is very important, to be the voice for the voiceless. It is the candid opinion of the National Ghana Parade Council that the Regional House of Chiefs, Ministry for Food and Agriculture, Ministry for Local Government and Rural Development, and Ghana Investment Promotion should have acted swiftly to avert this embarrassing situation, since such unfortunate reports have the propensity to dissuade potential investors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten men and women with trophies in their hands to facilitate this seminar. Kindly pay attention, mute all microphones if you are not speaking, please. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me. I would like to end here. I'm done for the moment. Mr. Opai Tete, if you are back, please, you can take the microphone. Thank you once again. Mr.
Thank you very much, Kimama. We appreciate your opening remarks. You've raised a couple of issues that are very, very important to attract investments, foreign direct investment to Ghana. Thank you so much for the great job. We have a couple of people who have left their microphones on and they are giving us feedbacks. So please, if you, like Kimama said, if you are not saying anything, kindly unmute yourself. Mr. Johnny Money, you are fit, your microphone is on and very much alive. Mr. Kofi Edu Flair, can you turn off your microphone for us? Her Royal Majesty Queenie, can you please turn on your microphone for us so we can, the feedback is getting to us here. Thank you so much once again, Kimama, for your opening remarks. So we are going to proceed and we're going straight to our first facilitator of the day, Honorable Yofi Grant, who is the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, has not joined us yet. And therefore, we are going to proceed to the next speaker to take over from us. And the next speaker is who is going to talk about investment opportunities in Ghana, and he's going to focus more on food and agriculture. He's going to talk about investment opportunities in Ghana, but he's going to focus more on food and agriculture and help me to introduce this wonderful man to all of us in this house. This man was born at Twifo Ayase in the central region of the Republic of Ghana. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, good. So, like I said, this man was born on 11th August 1952 at Ayase, Twifo Ayase, in the central region of the Republic of Ghana. He attended the St. John's School at Sekondi, Takoradi for his O-level, and then Winneba Senior High School for his sixth form or A-level qualifications. From there, he proceeded to the University of Ghana. This man is also a proud graduate of the John Fitzgerald Kennedy School of Government, USA. He is a Ghanaian politician and a member of the 7th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, representing the Twifo Eti Mokwa constituency in the central region of Ghana. He was a principal accountant between 1980 to 1991 at the Cocoa Processing Company Limited. From there, he became the general manager 1991 to 2000 at DuPaul Wood Treatment Limited. He became the district chief executive for Himan Lower Dentra between the year 2001 and 2004. He became deputy minister 2005 to 2007. He became the deputy minister for local government and rural development. Later, between 2007 to 2009, he again became the deputy minister for health, Ghana. Then, currently, this man has remained an agricultural consultant. He also works with the John Ajekum Kufuor Foundation. He consults for agricultural cocoa redevelopment program between 2014-2016 and Novel Commodities SA Geneva, Switzerland. This man has really achieved so much, but the most important of it all is that this man is the brain behind the 9 million metric tons of rice boom in the Republic of Nigeria. In fact, to ask the young man, this man's CV is so inspiring. And with his permission, after the end of this program, I'd like to share with some of the young men who would like to see his CV and what he has been able to achieve for himself and for Mother Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, help me to invite Honorable
Okay, I will take it from here. Honorable Abraham. Mr. Francis, you back? We have technology issue, but bear with us. Everything is going to be wonderful. Honorable, are you still there with us? Honorable Juma, are you here? Okay, I see you now. I'm going to pick you now. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for bearing with us, tech issue, but we are doing great. Please unmute yourself. Thank you. And welcome once again to this wonderful seminar.
Let me stand in the existing protocol as you well establish it. I wish I would have spoken after Yofi has spoken, but maybe I can take it from here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Once again, thank you for your elaborate introduction. Yes, Ghana, as was depicted by our poet, is really sitting on gold. And it is green and golden gold that Ghana is sitting on. Like Francis said, I've gone through the process of work in the private sector, and then I've come into the public sector. And currently I'm working on my own. I remember when I stood for elections in 2016 on MPP ticket. We had what we call the diaspora support. And I happened to have the people from Italy supporting me. That's Ghanaians in Italy really supported me to win for the first time in 24 years MPP seat in Twifo Etimokwa. In other words, Twifo Etimokwa had always been in the hands of NDC. But these diasporans in Italy came to my aid financially, spiritually, and everything physically to help me to win the seat. So in 2017, in 2017, I went to Italy. And when I went to Italy to thank them, they took me around several places. And I kept on asking question upon questions, how Italy made it to where they are, especially when they took me to the agriculture centers, the vineyards, the tomato growing areas, the potato growing areas, their trees and what have you, that Italy was making so much money. And my question was, what happened that you have come to this level? And the answer was just one, that it was our people who went abroad that brought us this development. I said, what do you mean by that? Yes, Italians who were scattered after some negative happenings in Italy came back. And when they came back, they brought their expert knowledge, technology, and money, and what have you. And that is what have made Italy what it is now. So when I came back, and especially I was fortunate to have been given a position as the vice chairman for the Agric Select Committee, I put myself on the line that I'll try as much as possible to encourage at least the Italian Ghanaian diasporans to come home. I did my best. They were coming and going. But in the long, the issue of how prepared Ghana was to get them integrated was a big issue. They came, want to establish, and yet there wasn't any congenial atmosphere for them to get integrated. And for me, if we are talking about any investment that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora can bring to Ghana or Africa, then it means we need to get ourselves prepared. I'll come to the potentials that are there. But that is why I said I wish my brother Yofi Grant would have spoken. Then I will know what they have and what they have corrected. I know, Madam, as you said, we have the diaspora desk in the office of the president, and I'm in touch with them. I'm here to get positive results coming from there, but at least indications from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora give so much to be worried about. They come and getting registered or getting their company started is a big deal. You go here, go there, go here, come here, and it's taking you months. Meanwhile, they don't have much time to stay. So not until all these things are taken care of, and especially dealing with the public servants, the attitude of the public servants. Your file can get to somebody and he will sit on that file, or she will sit on that file for so many days. That is a big problem. That if we want to encourage our brothers and sisters to come, we have to deal with this. So I am talking about the Ghanaian attitude, the Ghanaian mentality that is going to be as a support for our brothers and sisters to come back with their expertise, their technology, and their, of course, their investments. Like you rightly said, what is coming to Ghana through remittance is just enough to even beat our cocoa production. But yet, we are not giving them the kind of encouragement and the kind of attitude that will encourage them to come. Put that one aside. Few of them who have come into the system have had the state of the attitude of the Ghanaian worker. And I ask myself this question. We are talking about unemployment. You are getting people employed, and they are not loyal. They are not faithful. So that whatever money that you have sweated to bring down to the system is stolen or misappropriated by these people. Let's look at the classic case when these bank issues came, and I was listening to our big brother Amoabin. You and that bank, that he felt that he could employ first-class graduates so that they can give him excellent job, excellent product for him to be able to build a very good case and a very good bank for the Ghanaian society. In the long run, they happen and they really cause his downfall. This is a big problem. Currently, what is happening is that a lot of private sector people are scared to bring their money into the industry. Because at the end of the day, if I bring my money into the industry, and then I won't have people who are faithful enough, people who are honest enough, men and women of integrity, especially that we pride ourselves as Christians and Muslims, that we're supposed to have a new attitude towards life, and yet the situation is getting out of hand. Then people now are resorting to using the treasury bills and the other tools of investment. So I ask myself, if we are crying over unemployment in the country, now somebody will ask you, now who caused up? These are some of the challenges that is facing Ghana. But believe me, in the agri sector, the potentials are huge. The potentials are huge. If we are here and we always talk about Malaysia having come here and Nigeria to pick our oil palm and have made a big and a huge story out of it, and we are still importing oil palm from outside, then you can imagine the kind of potential that I'm talking about. Malaysia came here, took our oil palm. Now they have developed a huge industry out of that. And that the Malaysian economy is funded by oil palm. Meanwhile, we are sitting here, we have all what it takes to grow oil palm. We have all what it takes to grow coconuts, coffee, cocoa, and yet we are struggling and going up borrowing. Let's take cocoa, for instance. Every year, we find ourselves going for syndicated loan. Malaysia will not go for syndicated loan to do oil palm. Here, we are looking at some of our diasporan brothers and sisters who have had or have experienced outside about how to do things, to come and say, government, enough is enough. Let's sit up. We are not going to go borrowing again. This is what we can do to our cocoa. For me, if I'm talking about cocoa always, I keep on weeping. I remember in 2001, when I was made a DCE for Chufuhima and Lower Denchira, and I initiated Cocoa High Tech, got the blessing of President Kufuor to expand it. I knew Ghana was going to go to levels. No wonder when I was the vice chair and Cocoa Board came to defend a syndicated loan, I asked the question, when are we going to wean ourselves out of cocoa syndication loan? Because for me, if we are part of the global cocoa industry, which is around 150 billion, and we go begging for only 1.5 out of it every year, then I think we are not doing anything good for ourselves. The whole cocoa industry is about 150 billion. And we, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and the West African countries, we are producing 78% of the cocoa that make up the 150 billion. How much are we getting? Here, I expect our brothers and sisters who have had experience outside to begin to think about it and come with some answers. I have been in the local industry, agric industry for some time, and I realized that one thing that is killing us and it's not helping us, that we don't have any researchers who have Ghanaian or African mentality. Here, potential exists for our diaspora brothers and sisters to come and partner some of the professors here, that for once, Ghana will have and Africa will have what we call the African philosophy of researching into our Greek. We have sat for far too long for people to come and tell us what to do. Because one, our researchers who are here are looking for funds to do their research work. It is coming from the donor world. And they have their agenda. So at the end of the day, if their agenda is inimical to our interests, it means we are failing. Here, I am calling on our diaspora brothers who are researchers to come into partnership with the local people. Then we look at seed, we look at fertilizer, we look at our land. Let me tell you, scaringly, I don't want to scare anybody, but I can tell you that our land currently, though we have large tracts of land, most of them are degraded because we have destroyed the nutrient value of the land by the use of certain pesticides and certain chemicals that we shouldn't have used. Here, I'm expecting that some diaspora brothers and sisters who have such knowledge and have been educating us about GMO and the rest can come down and partner and set up research institute that they can sell their services to the farmers. Now, fortunately, we have a lot of farming groups that have sprung up in the various areas. Call it cocoa, call it rice, call it maize, call it soya beans. We have a lot of them that have sprung up. Such kind of research institute, a private research institute, who have an agenda of Ghanaian mentality, going organic. Because now, the kind of request that is coming on Ghana is that, can you produce these organic things for me? Can you produce these organic things for me? This, I'm expecting that people in the diaspora, with their expertise and their technology, can come down, partner local people, and set up a research institute and do it. Recently, we heard about America cutting his export of soya beans to China, about, call it 10 billion worth of it. Immediately, Brazil went in to take 2.5 billion. We have brothers and sisters who are in Brazil, who are in the US, who can come down, because the land is here. That yes, if China needs 10.5 billion, and then Brazil is going to supply them 2.5, the 8 billion, since we have the Afram plains, we have all the plains here in Ghana, let us take opportunity. And at the end of the day, China would definitely give such contracts to all people who are interested to feed them. Because for China, soya beans is their milk, their everything that they eat. Their cows and everything are feeding on soya beans. So if they cannot get their 10 billion worth of soya beans, then you are not helping them. Let's talk poultry. We have brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora who can come and partner the Kwabena Dakons. So many other poultry farmers. Come to think of last 2 years and last year, Ghanaian poultry farmers were desperate. I mean, crying all over because of maize. Is Ghana a country that should cry over maize for its poultry? It's unheard of. When the Afram plains are there, when the Agra plains are there, when, I mean, all over, even in Accra here, in the street, just drop a corn somewhere where it gets access to the soil and it will sprout up. Why are we doing this? So here, I'm calling on our diasporan brothers and sisters. Yes, it is true. Maybe the conditions are not suitable, but still, there are people like us who are in the system. If you come, we'll be able to support you, not me alone. I have a lot of people. We are on several platforms, agribusiness platform, anything agriculture, organic agriculture, Prague agriculture, a lot of us. And the question is, when are we going to get enough partnership to do all these things that we are talking about? Rice. I remember Francis said something about rice. 2012, President Kufuor sent me to Liberia as on a request from the president of that time, Madam Sirleaf Johnson. The president, whoever helped you to do cocoa high-tech, bring him to me to come and help me. And I went to Liberia, 2012, 2013. It was there that I realized the biggest paradox of Africa and tragedy of Africa. Liberia, their staple food is rice, and yet most of it was being imported. It was there that struck my mind, that let me do something. So I came out with a concept for rice and cocoa, which happened to get the attention of Michigan State University and then Kurt Hunger and Poverty Foundation to develop a model out of it that became Competitive African Rice Initiative, which I happen to be the policy advisor in Nigeria, and therefore we were able to do what we did in Nigeria. But I did it as a Pan-Africanist. I did it so that if Nigeria got it right, it will get to everywhere. Now I'm in Ghana trying to help so that we will do that. In Nigeria, the number of people that got into rice farming was huge. The same thing. At least it saved them from the importation. All the money that they were sending to outside was being invested internally. The same thing can go for Ghana. Just look at Rwanda. Rwanda now is exporting about 1.2 billion worth of agric. And Rwanda is about half the size of Central Region. And Ghana, our story is that we are importing about 3 billion worth of foodstuffs into the country. For me, this is not a good narrative. And I always get inspired by Adesina's message to us that in the year 2030, Africa is going to import about $3 trillion of foodstuff, so that Africa must rise up, else we are not going to find it easy at all. At the same time, he's saying that the next batch of billionaires are going to be farmers. So for me, my charge is that young and those in the diaspora must begin to take agriculture as a serious venture, because at the end of the day, that is where the future lies. Recently, there was this video about a Uganda company that is using banana stem, or call it plantain stem, to do so many things, tapestry, and even juice sacks. Meanwhile, Ghana, we are here, and every year we are importing juice sacks from outside. Here, I'm calling on the diasporans to come into it and invest in that. The same thing goes with coconut husk. Now, Ghana, people have gotten the message of the benefit of coconut drink, how useful it is. So all over, people are selling coconut. But then the husk has become a burden to us. Meanwhile, there's a technology that can help you convert the husk into so many other things, including even fertilizer. Here is a potential for our brothers and sisters to come with their technology, their expertise, and venture into it. We always say that the private sector is the engine of growth. Do we mean it? If we mean it, then this is the time that we have to give the private sector the real motivation to become the engine of growth. Because to be honest and frank with you, government cannot do it. When I was growing as a child, I knew we had the Black Star Line. I knew we have Ghana. I knew we have the Akasanoma. I knew we have so many things that were getting people employed. And even where I work as an accountant, cocoa processing, now that factory has been locked up, because when they saw the competitors saw that we were competing with them, all what they could do is to come and buy us up and then make the place become more and more, so that cocoa processing company cannot compete with the Germans and what have you. This is the stark reality. The culture holds the future for Ghana. If we are able to produce enough to feed ourselves and that we will not send our money, how come that we have bamboo and we have palm branches and we are importing toothpick from outside? $20 million of toothpick is coming from outside. How come that we have Kede, match factory trees, they are still there, and we are importing matches? I think the diaspora, you have something to offer, especially when I recount my experience in Italy, 2017, when I went to Palermo, when I went to other places, and they were telling me, this is how we did it. This is how we did it. Why can't we do it? And that we are quick to talk about unemployment graduates. We are quick to talk about challenges. Yes, challenges are laden with opportunities. But in Ghana, we see challenges as problems, and we are dwarfed, and we are warped up by challenges. Me, that is not how I think. Any challenge that I face in life, I think it offers opportunity for me to do something. When I faced as a DCE, my people were cutting down their cocoa trees. I went to Creek and told them that I'm the DCE for Chufuhima Lower Denja. This is my challenge. I think there's an opportunity. Dr. Appiah of blessed memory said, yes, you have come to the right place. We have done the research and we can turn the narratives. So the beginning of Cocoa High Tech in Ghana, that is how it started. We started it at Tufuhima Lower Denture. So the same thing is happening. Let's talk about so many other things. So I'm just thinking that
I know you are fired up. I'm telling you, we need to give you a bottle of water to sip, and then you will have to come back.
I'm sipping water.
Sip water. We'll get back to you so you can deal with the concerns from our valued audience. I know they have so much to ask you, and you also have so much to give. We really appreciate. Yes, you are the speaker who did not cover the weaknesses we have in our business investment environment as a country. Yes, like you said, today we don't recite our national pledge, our national anthem. We don't sing it at our schools early in the morning. And so our level of patriotism as a nation is going down. And you nailed it right. Thank you. We'll get back to you. Kindly find a bottle of water and drink. Whilst we go to Reverend Dr. Pam, and then we'll get back to you to address the concerns of our valued audience. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to bring on the next speaker whilst Honorable Juma Odum sips a bottle of water and comes back to answer your questions during the open forum. Our next speaker, amazing woman of God, Her Royal Highness, Honorable Reverend Dr. Pamela Fominan, also known as Nana Demakin-Lomo the First, a development queen of Lomobiawe and the entire Adan state in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana. This awesome woman is a corporate entrepreneur, a philanthropist.
Okay.
Once again, Mr. Francis is out, so Dr. Reverend Nat,
yes.
Please take over.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad, because he could have just gone on and on. Kimama, I'm so honored to be here. Honorable Odom, you almost got me standing on the table and dancing and jumping because I share those same sentiments. But my dear brother, I want you to know that together we are going to resolve a lot of those issues. As a matter of fact, just last week, I was on a program talking about the uses of coconut husk because I just came back from Ghana, my first time in Ghana, and drank so much coconut, but I was concerned about the coconut shells and the husk because they were being thrown away. So I'm not going to go too much into it. One of the things I want to just encourage my brother before I go into talking about investment opportunities in Ghana with the focus of Ada, where I have the honor to serve as the newly crowned development queen, is with those diasporans that, and I am one of those, and I used to be one of those, that are concerned about investing in Ghana or any part of Africa. The example you gave, those specific examples, they happen not just in Ghana, they happen in many countries. I'm originally from Cameroon. I would tell you this, with security cameras, a lot of those things can be resolved. There are people who can set up businesses back home and monitor them remotely with cameras. And when employees know that they are being watched, I can tell you they're going to perform. A lack of performance and employee theft has been a problem. When I say theft, I'm not talking about stealing inventory. I'm talking about being on the clock and being on social media. But that's a conversation for another time. So going back to the investment opportunities, I'll say something briefly, then I'm going to share a brief video. Kimama, if that's okay. The video is not comprehensive, but we have a lot of investment opportunities in Ada in every sector. Lomobiawe in particular, I think God just took his time to design that clan. I'm not being biased, but the Upper Volta River meets the Atlantic Ocean right there in Lomobiawe, and that's actually at the estuary where I was ordained. The land is flat, so you don't have to spend money with any kind of excavation. You don't have any valleys to fill, no mountains to level. The land is ready to go. I ate something called cassava fish. We don't have it in Cameroon, but there's plenty of it, plenty of tilapia in Ada. Honorable Odom talked about fish farming. Yes, there's opportunity for fish farming. We want to build the largest medical center in the world there. So we are calling, we have a lot of diasporans, Ghanaians in particular, who are in the medical field. My background is medical also. My first degree is in pharmacy. I was trained as a clinical pharmacist. We want people to leave the United States and come to Ada in the greater Accra region to get medical care, and that's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Well, I have a brother who studied in China in the 80s. Back then, China was a developing country. So how did China become an economic power? Their diaspora. So there's a big place of diaspora. I know our brother said the diaspora should come back home. Yes, we are all for that, but also our people back home should be ready to welcome the diaspora when they come back home. It is not a competition. We are one people. At Africa's Brain Bank, what we are telling people is that even if you cannot go back home because you are worried about security or safety, your brains can go. So please feel free to share your brains. But let me see if I'm able to share. Kimama, I'm assuming that you gave me permission to share. So I am going to, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
I'm going to share a 4-minute. Kimama, is the sound okay? Kim Mama, thank you for allowing me to share that video. It's less than 4 minutes. That gives you just a sneak preview of some of the business opportunities that are available in Ada. Not everything is there. The other thing I want to mention, because accountability, corruption, those are all things that are prevalent, challenges and hindrances. But I like what my brother said about challenges. To me, the challenge is actually a pathway, or stepping. I mean, obstacles. You can treat them as stepping stones. But if you look at those videos, you see those opportunities there. And if your concern is you don't know anybody in Ghana, you don't need to know anybody in Ghana. We are registered here in the United States, and you partner with us. We are open to partnerships, and public-private partnerships also, joint ventures, strategic alliances, you name them. We are open to all that, and we're registered in the United States. So you can partner with us, and we handle your business on the continent. Our brother is an expert in agriculture or agribusiness. I'm not, but I can tell you this. One of the information one of the things I learned while I was in Ada, I was privileged to participate in the National Farmers Day celebration. And I mean, I was so impressed with what these farmers were doing. They do produce crops, but guess what? They go to waste because food preservation and food security continues to be a challenge on the continent. The watermelon gets wasted, the tomatoes get wasted, mangoes. Ghana actually ate a lot of mangoes while they actually have 2 mango seasons. But what is happening with the mangoes? They fall off the tree and they rot. Why can't we make mango juice and export them? Why can't we make mango chips? The Indians do a lot of things with mango. So I want to encourage us in the diaspora. Food processing it will be a very good investment. And when we talk about investment, what are we talking about? An investment can mean something as simple as coming and putting something in the ground. I set up a Queen's Orchard in Lomobiewe where people are planting fruitful trees. The fruitful trees are trees that are edible. They're good for consumption and for medicinal values, not ornamental trees, not botanical gardens. You come set up a coconut plantation there, and you will get a huge return on your investment in just a few years. Or you bring a food processing plant to process the tomatoes. There are species of tomatoes that are used in making tomato paste. Why can't you come and plant those in Ada? And I must say this: the Ghanaians are the most hospitable people I know. The way myself and my entourage were welcome in Ghana right from the airport, they disrupted the airport, and it was not a facade, because even everywhere we went to Ashaiman, went to Tema, went to Lomobiewe, it was the same. It was the same treatment. They treated us with so much love, and none of us were afraid. My team members were going out at night. So Ghana is safer than a lot of African countries. It is more peaceful. So if you're having challenges, do research. My brother talked about research. Do research, however, be careful what you find online, because there are some information that are negative but are not actual data. They're not factual. It's just certain people want to keep people from, especially the African diaspora, from going back. So I would truly want to encourage the diaspora. And let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, I live in Houston, Texas. Let me tell you, if we, the African diasporans, don't go back home or invest at home, the Chinese people will become our landlords, the Russians will become our landlords, you name them, they will all become our landlords. So in America or in the diaspora, you'll be a stranger, and then when you go back home, you end up being a stranger. Even if you've built your one bedroom home or 2-story home in the village, what about our children? What are we going to leave for our children? Let's think about our children. For those our landlords and rulers and chiefs that are selling the land, have you ever heard of sustainable development? But then it cannot end with sustainable development. It also needs to be sustainable development that empowers the people. The Chinese people go to dig roads or do whatever they are doing in Africa. They bring their workers from Africa. We, the diasporans, need to go and develop the continent and employ our people. Yes, the competencies may not be there, but we can train them. We can use technology to train them in the right competencies that they need, and also work on the mindset When I was speaking with the people, I told them we are not here for charity. We're not here to give anybody anything for free. You cannot sustain charity without money. I said, you have to earn it. You asked me for a laptop. Why should I just buy you a laptop or a MacBook? What are you willing to contribute to the economy? I mean, to the community? What have you done, or what are you going to do to end that laptop? So let's stop giving fish to our people. Let's teach them how to fish. But more importantly, we need to wake up. There is a reason why all these foreigners are flogging into Africa. One of the people that came to my event said on their flight to Kenya, they were mostly white people. There were only about 4 black people, and she was wondering if she was on the wrong flight. Why is that? Why is that? Our people are drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, getting eaten by coyotes in Latin America. Why? Looking for what? In America, so long as you are black, nobody cares about your degree. A crazy cop can decide to send you to meet your ancestors, as they will say in Africa. But back home, you belong. Nobody's going to profile you because of the color of your skin. So I'm going to tell my diaspora brothers and sisters, this diaspora is not home. There is no place like home. And Kim Mama, before I pause, because I know we have other speakers, I don't know why there's a debate about who has the best jollof rice. Ghana has the best jollof rice, hands down. I eat that thing every day. I'm not from Ghana, so let's put that debate to rest. Kim Mama, I'm gonna pause here so that others can speak, and I'll be glad to come back to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this wonderful delivery. Mr. Francis, are you there? For those who just joined, you know, we are having a wonderful conversation and how to invest in Ghana and what you need. You know, it's not, you know, there are ups and downs, but the place is home. There's no place like home. If you don't go to fix it, or if you don't tell your own story, somebody will tell it the way that they want, for the simplest. Mr. Francis, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Hear me?
Yeah, please take over. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. The event, the seminar has been structured in such a way that Honorable Juma Odu will focus on the agricultural sector. The advanced stage is a unique area for investment, and our faith for those who focus there. There is two of Ghana investment promotion center investment. Honorable was also supposed agriculture. Yes.
We are having a challenge with we can hear what your delivery. Who is our next speaker, if you can hear me?
Yes. Let's go.
Who?
Questions and answers.
Oh, Q&As. Okay. At this point, it's the Q&A. We have one hands up. HR Queenie, please ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Queenie St. Michael from Germany. And it's mostly not even a question, but it's just a comment that I want to include into what one of the speakers was talking about, where he was talking about cacao and diasporas coming home to come and invest in research centers and all that. The issue, I think, is not just diasporas coming home or not. Let's be frank and face it. The diasporas abroad, what work do they do and how much do they earn? Any diaspora's salary cannot amount to any business. I mean, that kind of level of business that can amount to industrialization. It will all be reduced to this little family businesses, which, because the diasporas also don't live in Ghana, at the end of the day, we are going to have all these employee problems which we have. The problem we have is the fluid cash in Ghana, which we do not have. I work in the financial investment sector. And I tell you that the financial system running in Ghana and most of all African countries is just like holding a noose around our neck. And we shall never get back to that. Just some years ago, cocoa, was it? Yeah, cocoa, a bag of cocoa was raised between Ghana and Ivory Coast or something like that because they were the major producers for $400 or so. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The president was so elated about this. So he even made these speeches where he met the Swiss president and declared that we are no longer going to send raw materials to Europe, but we're going to do it ourselves. And what happened? We slept and woke up and we were told that Ghana is gone bankrupt. So we had to go to IMF based on what? They claim COVID. Really? Which countries suffered more in COVID in the world? Like European countries or Western countries. Yet IMF found a reason to rule us back into IMF. And if we watch the system of IMF and Ghana always going under IMF, it is just a it's just a circus, it's just a routine. This is how they do it. They know that we've got this 4 years span. After the second term of the government, 2 years before time, for some reason, they tell us we are bankrupt, we have to go to IMF. The opposition have the higher hand. Note that IMF funds is not for development, it's to sustain our debt. So if we are collecting money to pay debt, when are we going to save? That said, the $400 for the bag of cacao that was being sold because IMF managed to degrade us and declare our credit worthiness, CCCCC minus the $400 can now be estimated something of worth of about $100. Implication, we haven't got anything. We've still gone back to where we were 4 years ago. We now have 5 years to go through IMF, implying no investor can invest anywhere. And how much are we getting from the so-called IMF? 600 million is the money. I'm very passionate about the financial side because 2 years ago, as a diaspora, the least we can do is facilitate investors to bring their money to Ghana. But when we have a system where, sitting here right now, if I should even declare that, okay, I'm going to send 20 million to Ghana for an investment.
Sorry to interrupt. You have 2 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah. So the issue is not about diaspora. Diasporas can come as much as they want. Diasporas, well, someone said we transfer diaspora finances and we transfer money. That money is for private use. It's not for the development of the country. We need proper investments. And this proper investment starts from the top. We need a proper governmental financial system, not the system that swings us under the IMF SWIFT system where we can't even transfer $5 million to Ghana at a time. That is what has to be changed. Thank God today we've got different blocks. We've got a multipolar world. Time for the country to start thinking of getting out of this IMF news and see the other areas, and we get a better way instead of somebody sitting in the US instructing how much money a country should get and always putting our hands tied to our backs. Thank you. I'll stop here first of all.
Thank you very much. Let's pick Sheikh Musa Drame. Let's pick two more, then the answer will be one time, so we can manage our time properly. We have Musa Drame, hands up, please.
Yes, actually, I am extremely honored to be here. I think this is one of the most useful time that I spent for a long time, and I am greatly appreciative of Honorable Abraham Odom for his realistic presentation and the vast information that comes from practical knowledge. And I believe that, you should organize another event and have him as the sole speaker on this subject, because I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, his presentation from personal, experience, as well as realistic, putting things together. So thank you, and thank you for the organizers. And this is indeed time well spent. God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you. Mama, please take over.
Hello, can I say something real quick, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, please go.
Yeah, this is Patrick. I want to say something real quick.
Yes, please go.
So, going back to the last man for bringing up real issues that we have in Africa, as like we don't have enough money in the diaspora and this and that. Those are all very true statements. But that is the beauty of groups like Africa's Brain Bank. If 10 professionals can each bring 200,000, that's 2 million, which can make a drastic difference in financing rather than going it solo. So that's where the beauty of Africa's Brain Bank comes in. We set an example for other people to form cooperative groups to do a major investment. So that's one way we can break the to address that issue. The second issue is that we as Africans need to stop attaching ourselves to the Western agenda. Like the madam said, it's a multipolar world. We have to have with programs with Russia, with China, with Europe, with America and Brazil, everywhere. We cannot be blindly following the West anymore. That should come to a complete stop. And that is one big failure of the Akufo-Addo government. He's a blind, went to British Queen's funeral for what? So that, I agree with you, that has to stop regardless of which party is in power. So that is a real problem where we attach ourselves too much to the Western institutions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Mr. John Colley Doster, you there? Okay, let's move. Are you there?
Here.
Okay, please take over the microphone. Your network is acting up.
So good. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it has been very insightful joining this platform today. God bless the organizers. As we speak on the first speaker, I would like to know how and where to obtain some of these partners. For instance, he spoke about research. I'm an MPhil student in breeding and genetics. And where we know elsewhere outside, students get some funds to finance their project work. But over here in Ghana, it's not so. There are a number of projects we've lined up. We have interest investigate into them, but we don't have any funds to finance ourselves when we run in these projects. So my question is, how do we obtain, even there is a grant from government? And let me chip in this one quickly. He said the backbone of this country's development is agriculture. But I can tell you boldly that the measures the government has been putting in place is really killing agriculture. In the teaching field now, teachers who teach agriculture are no more being given steady leave to go and study agric at the university level. So in the near future, we are not going to get teachers to teach agriculture. Quite apart from that, the grants for even students to finance their projects are also not there. So I would like to know from Doctor if he could be of help to us so that we can venture into more research if we can get partners to support our research works. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So when Reverend TT answered, then our speakers will answer, respond to the questions. Thank you.
Honorable.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm seeing your name is John Colley here, so I have Reverend here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
K Mama. I'm really thankful for the opportunity and the discussions that are going on so far. The Honorable Abraham Odum really laid a very strong foundation passionately. And this is how I want to see our leaders speak to us, so that it's not just a matter of speaking from the mind just to gain popularity for another vote or just to please somebody, but you are really ministering and speaking to the issue. So thank you and God bless you for what you've done so far. I'll come back, but one thing I believe in is that whenever we have natural resources on our lands, God intends it to bless or to prosper the citizens of those people who are on the land. But one of the things that is really a drawback or setback for us as a nation is the fact that we are not really investing enough. We're not making budget for research and development. So we have our natural resources, but we don't have the technology to be able to explore, more. So we have to go for the people who have the technology, but do not have the natural resources. And then they keep to dictate to us. Most of those kind of concessions are almost like unilateral agreement, and you need them. So you have to just open your doors to them. Just like we have the oil in Ghana, we are drilling oil, but Tema Oil Refinery is defunct as we're talking. They're struggling. We have to be doing gold for oil and all those kind of things. But here is the point. I want to find out from the Honorable. He said he asked a question during the cocoa syndication meeting. He said, when are we going to win ourselves from that? I'm interested in the answers that he got at that time. And what is it that we can do differently? Because I realize that even though probably I'm sure he might be out of office and I don't know much about that now, but he still have that passion to see agri sector developed. I've taken some few notes. I want to know what we are doing differently, especially in terms of policies, because people from diaspora are working hard, and when they get down over there and then any government policies come up to throw their business into the ditch, that really will be very painful, and you get other people advice. So what are the policies that are being set up that it's not about government of the day, but as a nation, so that it can really help the diaspora to ship money back home and do business? I'll be very happy to have some responses to that.
Okay, thank you very much. At this juncture, I'd like to once again invite Honorable Abraham Juma Odum to the microphone to answer the questions, then one pertaining for Reverend Dr. Pamela too.
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator, for the opportunity to respond to issues that have been raised. Let me go to the first one, the financial sector issue that was raised by a contributor from Germany. In fact, what she said is perfectly right. We are not doing anything better in the financial sector. That is why we are going round. And she made a statement which I agree with her. This monies that is coming through to Ghana or Africa through remittances, maybe some of our brothers and sisters there can create a bank so that those monies can be routed there through that bank. In that case, that bank can be resourced and become even a development bank to support brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora who want to come and do investment. So I agree with her perfectly well. And I also agree with her that this cycle of going to World Bank, coming up and down, is not the best. 60-something years after independence, where, the foundation was laid and Ghana had about 19 ships and so many distant, and then we are now reduced to a beggar a nation. Yes. So the question is, what are we doing? And we have to be innovative. So I agree with her. Let some of you in the diaspora everywhere because you've had some exposure. I was in Canada with a client to defend for him to get some facility. Initially, he was slated for 5 million. But when I did the presentation, the bank that was going to give the money said, no, from what we have heard from Honorable Odum, you need more than 5 million. So we are going to give you 10 million. And they actually gave him that money. And I remember when we went for dinner, the guy he wanted to find out if I've stayed outside Ghana. I said, no. I've not stayed outside Ghana for any time. The only time that I came to outside for school was when I went to Harvard for some 1-year course. Period. We have the men and women, but we are just being lazy. Excuse me to say that. So let's sit up. So I agree with that lady who made that statement from Germany. It's true. Then to the research. Recently, about a year ago, Otumfuo organized a program where he was looking at agriculture and what it can do for Ghana. And I was one of the main speakers. I made a statement to the effect that I believe that the kind of agriculture that we are doing is not what we're supposed to be doing. Agriculture left in the hands of politicians is no agriculture. It is propaganda. Beginning or they are coming, they will do what we call the manifesto. They come and they cannot live it. So I was advocating that let us get our NDPC, National Development Planning Agency, to do a policy and a blueprint for agriculture so that the whole nation buys into that idea that this is our roadmap for agriculture. This is what we are going to do the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. So when you come as a government, we are marking you as to where you took us from and where you left us. So that we will not be allowing them to be tickling themselves and then be laughing that, oh, I did this, I did that. That is not what we are looking for. What we are looking for is that this nation have full security. What we are looking for is that this nation is using agriculture to give employment to our youth, that unemployment issues are being taken by agriculture, that we are getting millionaires out of agriculture. Go to China. They are doing all these things. China, said we are going to move 300 million people from poverty into affluence. And they have done it. Why can't we do the same thing? Then we allow parties to come with their program. We know that this is what they are doing. Can't we say no to it? If we do it, in that case, that student who is doing his master's will be serious with him. China, consciously, those days that they wanted to come out of poverty, every year they would take about 50 students to Harvard, 50 students to Oxford, 50 students here, and they will ask them to go and then come back and bring the technology they have learned there to come and develop the nation. That is how China have made it. We can do the same thing. Like you see, now he's begging for money. He's looking for grant. And the budget for research, you go to the research institution, it's abysmal. Nothing to talk about. So at the end of the day, the donors will step in, then they bring their money, which is wrapped in something. We want this. We want you to promote this product for us. And at the end of the day, the nation is suffering. So at the end of the day, we don't have our own philosophy in agriculture. We don't have anything that we are there and we are so vulnerable that anything can happen to us. Anything can happen to us. So the question that I ask about winning ourselves, I didn't get any answer. The only answer I get, how can we win ourselves? As for us, this is how we live to finance our destiny. And for me, it wasn't ingenious. It was like, I mean, let us be where we are. And me, I don't live my life that way. That is why I keep on posing that question so that we'll interrogate it, so that we'll come to a point where we say that enough is enough. We don't need to remain begging, because at the end of the day, if we are able to develop cocoa to the extent that Malaysians have developed oil palm, we don't need to get syndicated loan. We are doing Goggisberg economy still now. Goggisberg economy means produce raw material for me, ship it to me, and I'll give you a peanut. That is what we are doing. And I think that is not helping us. So at the end of the day, let me say that, well, Africa, we need you people. Yes, you don't have much money, but you have experience. You have exposure that most of us here don't have. When I was in Italy, and they took me around Palermo area there and the tomatoes area there, I was asking them, can't some of you learn what they are doing here and then bring it to Afrancho? Here we have Asante Afrancho. We know the tomatoes place. Every year it's getting rotten. And here we have the Bagri Dam. Every year, the Upper Volta Burkina people will open the Bagri Dam and our people will get drowned. Some of you are in Netherlands. Some of the diasporans are in Netherlands. They live under water and they are able to sustain themselves. And the other day I read about agriculture to GDP. Netherlands is doing about $102 billion. So can some of us in the diaspora team up with local people here, come and build, say, dikes in the area, the catchment area, so that when the water is open up there, it will not come and flood. I remember when I did the Cocoa High Tech, and Marirudu of blessed memory came to my district, and we were talking. He said, Odum, when I go to South Africa and I'm back, I'm going to take you to Burkina, where they do seed clouding, so that we could have rains to rain on our cocoa as we are doing what we are doing, so that we could be getting cocoa every month. These are some of the things that we are talking about, that you people have access to, that bring it to us and partner us. Madam, let me say that a lot of people are saying they need Odum's number. I'm available. Francis is my mentee, and I'm available to anybody who want to tap into my little experience. I'm done.
Wow.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Francis?
Yes, Honorable Odum, thank you so much. There was the question for Her Royal Highness, Reverend Dr. Palm. Please kindly, Reverend Palm, unmute yourself and address that question so we have just for a few minutes to wrap up the program. So Reverend Palm, please come with your question.
Okay, Mr. Francis, sorry, don't forget Mr. Theophilus might be the last person to ask their question, then we move on. Okay, Reverend, take over, please.
Okay, I'm going to make a couple of comments to address. I wasn't sure if there was any specific questions directed to me. Something was sent to me in the chat box. But let me just make sure I take a moment to laud the efforts of our Honorable Odum, you know, not for just what you did in Nigeria with rice, but with all your decades of services. And of course, Francis being my administrator will be reaching out to you. We will be talking about food preservation and security in Lagos in December. But just to echo or just piggyback on what he said, again, I'm not sure, Kimama, if I missed a direct question, let me know, but I'm just going to comment on the last two. Our sister from Europe, I don't know if it was, I don't remember the country, but she was right. But one thing I'll say to encourage her, and this quote did not come from me, but the obstacle is the way. You know, so if we are looking at our bank accounts, we will never do anything. What I have been saying in 5 years is that for the government to open the gates so we can come back home. Because even those that have the money, I have seen this in a few countries that have the money, that are diasporans coming back home to come improve the lives of their brothers and sisters. The government, some of the governments have been a hindrance to those efforts. So we need them to open the gate so we can come back home and work in the private sector and make things happen. We're not expecting all of them to get what the Chinese people do. But also the mindset of our people, not just in the government sector, but even the private sector and even the consumers. We need to work on our mindsets. Because I tell our people, my students, I tell my business students, because business ethics is one of the courses I teach, I say working in silo, it's to me the biggest malpractice because you can't go far. Why do you want to work by yourself? And collaborating with somebody doesn't mean you have to sleep on the same bed with them. No, it means that if you are a farmer and you don't have a way to take your products to market, you can collaborate with another farmer that has a way to do that. It is better for you to make 50% of $1 million than 100% of $100,000. So we need to get out of this me, myself, and I, or me wanting, everybody wanting to be a chief, you know, and work together. The only way we are going to see results is if we collaborate to develop and serve our people. And that happens to be our motto. So I just want to encourage everyone, you know, there is a solution for every problem. There is a solution for every problem. Even though negative people find a problem for every solution, that one I didn't come up with. I'm just saying there's a solution for every problem. And let it not deter you. Seminars like this are very important. Our people that made the time to join here are people that want to learn. They want to do something. Don't sit in your kitchen and grumble about, oh, there's no money, oh, I can't do anything in Africa. Attend seminars like this so you can learn. My dad used to tell me, no information acquired, knowledge acquired is ever lost. You know, so do your own research, participate. Thank God for the internet. You know, there's information out there. When you see seminars like this, zoom in. Kimama is not charging any of us for this seminar. He did not charge you. So you come here and meet somebody like Honorable Odum and learn something from him. And then now don't keep it to yourself, share it. Because that's another thing. We don't share information, and information is power. You know, information is very important. Information can be the decider to somebody making it or not making it. So I just want to encourage everyone, you know, don't be discouraged. Don't be despondent. Don't be depressed. There is hope. There are people, lots of people besides Dr. Odum, myself, Kimama, who are doing something without help from government to empower our people. All I'm saying is that any development that we are doing, let's make sure that we empower our people. We don't need to go and do the same thing that the Chinese people are doing. Kimama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you, Reverend.
Francis.
Okay, Dr. Pam, thank you so much. We have Mr. Theophilus Zotoglu. He's a seed technologist. As I've seen his hand up. Mr. Zotoglu Theophilus, please go ahead and make your point.
Thank you very much, Francis. And I also want to thank you for such a good platform for us to share our ideas and knowledge regarding to ensuring that the country, Ghana benefits from what is due. In fact, I've sat through the program from right from the poetry recitals through all the presentations, and I've enjoyed it so much, and I've also enriched myself. But a few points. Ghana used to be a very good exporter of pineapple. Now it is off because we couldn't sustain the production because we don't have very good quality planting materials for it. Same way, I hear Dr. Odom saying that soya is another green gold that perhaps the Chinese could demand from us. But when we ask what is the quality seeds that are available to make soya one of your main crop? Look, China can give us a demand for it, but we will not be able to meet it because we have poor quality seeds. We have fantastic seeds that need to be multiplied. And the plant breeder just talked about he not having funds to even breed or get into production of quality seeds. If we don't have quality seeds, we will always come out with low yields on the field. So we will be going round and round. And we have researchers who can develop seeds that are top-notch, but we always import the little. Ghana policies on planting for food and jobs are based on seed. If we don't have quality seeds, we will not get the yields, we will not get the production, we will not be able to sustain our production. So we should look at that research angle of ensuring that we have adequate, good quality seeds that our farmers can easily access or should be available for them to produce. You can talk about granules. As we speak now in our farm place, the granules they were introduced to, the seeds that were used for granule production since almost 20 years ago is the same seeds they keep extracting on and on and on. And when you keep extracting the same seed year in, year out, it will be susceptible to pests and diseases, and you will not get the yield. So we need to really tailor our minds on ensuring that we have adequate, sustainable seeds. And this should be in the hands of the researcher so it can be multiplied for everywhere. Now, cassava varieties, even if I talk about all crops.
Okay. Uncle Theophilus, you're on
Thank
fire.
you very
I
much.
can see you're on fire. But
Thank you very much.
unfortunately,
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So let me go to Mr. Kwadwo, Poet Kwadwo, to give us a line. Then we can wrap up the program. Okay, Mr. Kwadwo, poet, give us a line.
Mr. Francis, acknowledge two hands.
Interject here. He has raised a very pertinent issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
The seed issue. In fact, what he has said is pretty right. That is why I was dwelling so much on research. What you plant, the seed that you plant, will give you the yield that you get. So the point he's making is very, very vital. And that is why I'm saying that what he's saying is true. We don't have any formulated, any laid down procedure for seed multiplications and what have you. That is why I'm saying we need people in the diaspora who have such experience to come and partner people like him and develop the seed industry for us. For all we know, we are being pampered with the Macento, Bayard, and those people who are not giving us the seed that we require. But at the end of the day, seed determines the farmer's wealth because that feeds into his productivity. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, the last two questions, please make it short. Mr. Foster, go ahead, then Mr. Boateng will close it, then Mr. Francis will take over.
Thank you, Madam. And for me, it's not a question, but just to contribute to the seed discussion, because I've been working the seed sector for a number of years. I used to work for AGRA, Green Revolution in Africa. I've been involved with most of the things that Honorable Odum has been doing. There are three challenges facing the seed industry in Ghana. I think the first one is about we are not being intentional in terms of investments we are putting in there, because our farmers deserve to have materials that command genetic advantage. You and I used to change our phone every time when Apple releases a new version, but we think that our farmers should still rely using old materials. Definitely, they cannot compete and they will not be competitive. And again, our researchers, another problem is also with our researchers. The researchers are also the kind of research they are doing is not market driven. They are not looking at what the market is looking for to be able to research into. Most of our researchers have been just researching to get their papers written and getting their degrees and promotions. So that is why government needs to be intentional to look at what actually would help to get the farmers the required material that command genetic advantage. So these are the two challenges. The last one is also about adoption. There has been a number of different types of seed that researchers have also developed. It has not been commercialized. It's sitting on their shelves. So I think we need to also look at how this three-pronged approach, we can address them, and then we can get the right materials to our farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. John Colley, please.
Thank you very much. My question, still one question. I asked where and how to obtain funds for research works, but when he was given that, actually he didn't touch on that one. So I will plead with Honorable Angel to touch on it for me. He would do that. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Honorable.
I didn't get the question very well. Say, where can you get what?
Where and how to get like partners or sponsorship for research works?
Oh, like the last speaker, Mr. Foster said, in Ghana now, I would say we don't have any lay down procedure. I mean, we are not intentional. People are doing it, like he rightly said, doing it for their PhDs and their doctorate. So it is not commercially driven. But you go to Ministry of Agric and you go to, say, CSIR, you get some of them telling you, do this, do that, do that. Maybe over there, you can get some of these people who are prepared. And definitely, if you go there and you are getting anybody to help you, it's going to be the donors who are going to do it for you. You can go to AGRA, you can go to Koika and those places. If you go, it will be some donors who want to help you to do it for their purposes. But at least Ministry of Agric should be able to help you. Ministry of Agric and some of these donors, JICA, Koika, and AGRA should be able to help you.
Thank you. Mr. Francis, we have another poet before we leave. So
yeah, just a line from him. He's been on call since the beginning of the program, so let's give him that opportunity to say something. Kwejo delivered a poem about the African and Africans in the diaspora, and he's an amazing poet. Mr. Kwejo Awoti, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much. So I'm talking about the beauty of Ghana.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So welcome, Wezolo, Akwaba, to Ghana. In the beauty of a new dawn, let us be adorned in the beauty of Bonre Kente. And let's dance Kete to the rhythms of Kete. Krekete, krekete, krekete. Ochema, Daniel Tumpaino or Techema. Nema Tumpaino Kasa. The sky is made beautiful by the twinkling of the stars. And so is Africa beautiful with the star of Africa, Ghana. You're welcome to the center of the world, the gateway to Africa, the center of attraction, Ghana, an architecture of nature by divine artistic construction. Let's have some sunshine in Sunyani, the Sun City, And let's give the eyes some pleasure at the greens of Kumasi, the garden city, and have a feel of a breeze serenity. And let's freeze in the breezes of the beaches. Let's take a walk on the canopy of Kalkum National Park, or go to Paka and take a seat at the back of the crocodile. What about a fellowship in the monkey sanctuary? Or should we consider the butterfly sanctuary? But better still, why don't we stand tall on the mountain of Afajatu and we will see no fall? The only falls we will see is the beauty of waterfalls at Boti, Fula, and the many falls in Kentampo, Ghana, the gateway to Africa. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome indeed.
Oh my God. Kofi Flair and Kweju Awote, you guys are fantastic. You're amazing. You're amazing. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are so grateful to have you on call. First and foremost, we'd like to say a very big thank you to the God Almighty for making this day possible. Then to Honorable Abraham Juma Odum. The first time I met this man was when he came to represent former President John Ajekun Kufuor at the Medi Kuku Awards at the Moving Peak Hotel. And since that day, I have never stopped following this great man. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Thank you, Her Royal Highness Nana Demekin Lomo the First, the Queen of Development of Lomobiawe and the entire Adan State. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be our celebrated speaker. Kimama, for putting together this program under the auspices of the National Ghana Parade Council, collaborating with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. We say thank you for the good job you are doing for the people of Ghana in the diaspora. Then also to all of you who participated. And I am so grateful to have all of you here. Madam Alberta, Anne Benjamin Akwesi Benis, the Blayor, Reverend Blayor, the Mayor, Madam Charity, Regan Corte, Dr. Judith Fayebo, oh my God, Dr. Doris, Emmanuel Auntie Foster Boating, Francis Kwame Gandhi, Mr. Suleiman, Her Royal Highness Queenie, Honorable Isaac Otuzo, all the way from Shai Osudoku, oh my God, Madam Isoki Ibe from Canada, Mr. Jacob Kutufam from Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Mr. Johani, Mr. John Colley Duce, Mr. Johnny Money, Mr. Jonathan Tete Moringa Moore. Oh, I know this guy. The Ghana National Association of Farmers and Fishermen. Thank you for coming. Mr. Josephine KSD Joy, Mr. Kwajo Awote, Madam Marion, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know whether I got your place right. Madam Marion is a great lady. Thank you so much. Okay, then all the way from the Premier FM at the whole technical university, we have Nene Bueno Lamte. Thank you for coming. Na Adokwe Alote. Thank you so for coming. Nana Kwame, Nana Yao Opoku, Mr. Nicholas Mensa, Mr. Patrick Kwashi, Elder Tekwe Peter. Thank you so much. Phoebe Jackies. Thank you. Felix Hendricks. Thank you. Reverend T.T. Daniel. We're so grateful all the way from Minnesota, and the chief of the Dangme people in Minnesota, Reverend T.T. Daniel. Thank you for coming. Sir Richard, thank you. Richmond Ajari, thank you. Mr. Salom, thank you. We also have Sheikh Musa Dame. He's a Gambian doing wonders in the United States of America. This man is in charge of the Peace Commission in New York City. I love him. I love to work with this great man. Mr. Stephen Kwekuda, thank you. My brother, the seed scientist, Mr. Theophilus Zotoglu, thank you. And Joyce Lai. We are so grateful to all of you for making time to be part of this conversation. We don't take your time for granted at all. And we pray that the next edition, when we invite you, you will come and join this call. Yes, we pledge and promise that we are going to bring Honorable Juma Odum once again to another conversation so that you can have the fullest and full of him. The fullest of him. Sorry. Thank you so much. Without wasting time, let's go to Reverend T.T. Daniel to give us the closing prayer.
All right. Thank you, my brother, Honorable Francis Opaitete, for the great job you're doing. And to K Mama and all of you, we are grateful for the opportunity to hear from your wisdom. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day that you have made so beautiful. We are thankful unto you because when you are about to do something new, you call for a platform like this. We ask that what has begun today will continue and let the end of it bring prosperity to our people. Oh God, make our nation and our people great and strong. Bless our homeland, Ghana. In all things that we do, let us emerge as a people who know you and who serve with the knowledge of you. Let our economy grow in everything we do. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Please, before you leave, this is our next forum that we are going to have. We are pushing so Ghanaians living abroad will be able to vote. We have been disenfranchised for so long. So please take the time. Please take the time, screenshot it, and let's push for ROPA, Progressive Alliance Movement that we are pushing. I'm the CEO, and I'm also hosting this event. We are pushing. We are not giving up until they allow us to vote. They can't come to our midst all the time and ask for support. We are asking them so we have the opportunity to vote and have a voice. So all these investments will have a power behind it. Thank you very much for coming.
So Senegal has been voting for several years now. Ghana can do same. So Key Mama, we are going to push the agenda for Ghanaians in the diaspora. We can't go and scout for people to come and play football. But when it's time for them to vote, we say they are not fit to vote. That is wrong. So all of us are going to support the diaspora to vote this time around. Thank you. Some few messages from the chat room. Thank you all that made this possible. From Dr. Fayebo, thank you. From Dr. Doris, thank you all so much. Awesome presentations. Yes, awesome presentations. That you are right. That is from Richmond Ejari. GIZ can also help but depends on your area of expertise. This one is a bit long. Our government should prioritize its limited resources to transform Ghana agriculture. As it stands, public resources allocation is not based on evidence, but rather on politics of emotions. We ought to support